welcome to my channel. So in the today's lecture we are going to discuss various constraints present in the database management system. Okay, so as it is clear from the name constraint, constraint means some kind of rules or restrictions we have on tables. Okay, so let me tell you, let's suppose we have this table. Okay, we have various attributes, roll number, name and city. These three attributes are there. Okay, and in database management system we call table as a relation. We call table as the relation. Okay, so what is the name of my relation? What is the name of my table? Let's suppose student. Okay, so this is our student relation. And all these three, you will be calling it as the attributes of the relation. All these three columns are actually your roll number, name and city. We call it as the attributes. Okay, so if you look at, we also have a various kind of text files, docs file, MS Word and Notepad for storing your data. Okay, if you look at that, data is not stored systematically or in any order. Okay, if you are storing your data in text files and docs files, then we cannot fetch or process the data easily. Why? Because we have not stored data in a systematic order in the file system, in text files and docs file. So table or relational model is a systematic way of storing your data so that you can store or process or you can fetch your data easily. If you look at this roll number column, you will be just storing only the roll numbers here. In the name column, you will be storing only the names. So relational model provides you to store the data in a systematic manner. Okay, and all the rows or all the records of your table, we call it as the tuples. Okay, for all the records, okay, all the rows of your table, we call it as the tuple. Okay, now let me tell you what is the meaning of cardinality and degree of relation. What is the meaning of cardinality of a relation? You know, relation and relationships are both different things. Okay, there is a difference in relation and relationship. Relationship tells you how two tables are connected with each other, and we call relation as a simple table. Okay, so now what is the cardinality of the relation? The cardinality of the relation is how many number of tuples you are having, how many rows you are having in your table. If you look at it, we have 4 tuples present in the table. Okay, so what is the cardinality of the relation? The cardinality of the relation is 4. The cardinality of this table is 4. Okay, and what is the degree of the relation? What is the degree of the relation or table? the degree of the relation is how many attributes you are having in your table. Okay, so in this table, how many attributes we are having? We are having 3 attributes of the table. So what is the degree of the relation? The degree of the relation is actually 3. Okay, we studied also the degree of a relationship. Degree of relation and degree of relationship are both different things. Degree of relation means how many number of attributes you are having in your table. And degree of relationship means how many entities are involved in making the relationship. We have, let's suppose, student and we have course. So what is the degree of this relationship? The degree of this relationship is how many entities are involved in making the relationship. So how many entities are there? 2. Okay. So I hope that now you are clear with the difference of degree of relation and degree of relationship. Okay. So now let's discuss the various constraints. So now let's discuss the various constraints. We have domain constraint. First constraint we have is domain constraint. Second we have entity integrity constraint. Third we have is referential integrity constraint. Okay, so we will be discussing these 3 constraints one by one. There might be some other constraints, but these 3 are important ones. So we will be discussing only these 3 constraints. Okay, so let's suppose we have a table in which we have a roll number, name and age. So firstly I am discussing the domain constraint. Okay, we are now discussing the domain constraint. So basically your domain constraint is related to the columns. It is related to the columns. Domain constraints. We are having some kind of restrictions on the data which you will be storing in your table. Okay, let's suppose if you look at this age. Age is what? Age is something integer value. Okay, age is something integer value like this. So in this column you are bounded to add only the integer values. You can't store character like this in this age column. Okay, so you are bounded to store only the integer values. You cannot store any alphabets or characters in the age column. Okay, and let's suppose we are adding one more condition, that the age should be less than 40. Okay, we are having a domain constraint that age should be less than 40. So in each and every row, no age should be greater than 40. In each and every record of your table, you will find age to be less than 40. Okay, so now if you look at this name column. Okay, so if I say that the length of the name should be less than 20. Okay, the length of the name should be 20. So what you are doing? We are applying some kind of restrictions on the columns, on the attributes, which each and every record present in your table would follow. Okay, so there would be no name whose length is greater than 20. Each and every name present in your table would be having length less than 20. Okay, so we call this kind of constraints as the domain constraints. Domain constraints are basically applied on the columns or the attributes of the relation. Okay, these are actually our domain constraints. Okay, I hope that you are clear with domain constraints. Now let me tell you what is entity integrity constraint. Okay, now we are discussing entity integrity constraint. So as I already told you that we should have a key attribute in our table for the good designing of the database. If you are not using keys in your table, then your database design would be poor. Okay, so in this table, if you look at this roll number is actually your key attribute. Okay, with the help of roll number, you can uniquely differentiate between each and every record of the table. Okay, if you are given roll number, then you can calculate the value of name and you can also find the value of age. Okay, so now what is the meaning of entity integrity constraint? So we have roll number as the key attribute. Okay, so roll number as it is a key attribute, so it is the most important attribute of this relation. Okay, so what entity integrity constraint says? Entity integrity constraint says your primary key. Okay, we can call it as a primary key. It shouldn't be null. Your primary key attribute should never be null. Okay, if it is going to be null, then we would be having problem. Let me show you what I mean to say. Let's suppose roll number is 1. Let's suppose we have age here 27. Okay, so this is actually our table. Okay, so what I am saying that there should be not null present in the key attribute in the roll number. If let's suppose there is a null present in the key attribute, what errors we can get? So there is a null value present in the key attribute, and I have one question that I want to find the age of name Aarti. Okay, I want to find the age of name Aarti. So what I will be doing? I will be searching in the name column. Okay, so I have two places where Aarti is present, here and here. So I want to calculate her age. Okay, so now what are the values we are having? We are having two values, 20 and 27. So if I ask you a question, what is the age of Aarti? What we would be saying? We would be saying it is either 20 or it is either 27. So we don't have a definite Okay, so this kind of problems occur if if you allow primary key attribute to be null. So that's entity integrity constraint. It says that your primary key attribute shouldn't be null. Okay, this primary key attribute is the most important attribute. With the help of this prime attribute, you will be determining all the values of other attributes. Even if you are making your software project, so all of the queries which you will be processing from your table would be done by only the key attribute. Each and every query which you will be performing on your table, we will be doing it only with the key attribute. So your entity integrity says your primary key attribute shouldn't be null. Okay. So I hope that you are clear with entity integrity constraint. Now let me tell you what is differential integrity constraint. So now let's discuss what is differential integrity constraint. Okay, so let's suppose we have two entities present. We have one entity as student and we have one entity as student and we have one entity as family details. And there is a relationship, okay, between these two entities. The various attributes is student ID, student name, and student city. The various attributes is father name and mother name. Okay, so now let's discuss the meaning of differential integrity. I am going to convert this entity relationship model into the relational model. We have a student entity and we have a family details table. Okay, so it is having student ID, we have name and we have city. In this family detail, we have father name, we have mother name. Okay, so I already told you that as it is a weak entity. In the last videos when we were discussing ER model, we understood that what is the difference between strong and weak entity. So this is a weak entity. So what you will be doing? You will be using the primary key attribute of this student table as a common attribute in this table. Okay, so we have two students. Let's suppose Aarti and let's suppose Neha. So Aarti belongs to, let's suppose, Patiala and Neha belongs to Chandigarh. Okay, and let's suppose we have mother name and father name like this. Okay, like this. Okay, so now we have a relationship between these two tables. We can easily determine that what is the mother name and father name of Aarti, what is the mother name and father name of Neha. How we are able to determine that? With the help of this common attribute. Okay, with the help of this common attribute, we can determine the relationship between these two tables. So if you look at this key is actually your primary key. Okay, this is actually your primary key and you will be calling it as a foreign key. This common attribute we will be calling it as a foreign key. Okay, because it is actually referring to the primary key of this table. Okay, so as it is a foreign key, so all the values which you will be getting would be from student ID. Okay, let's suppose we have a student ID as 1 and 2. You can't store here 5, 3, 4. No, we can't store values like this. Okay, so all the values which is going to be present in this column would be from these values. Okay, so now let's suppose we have third, Pooja. Let's suppose Delhi. So, you can just store here values 1, 2 and 3, not other than these primary key attribute values. It is actually a foreign key which is referring to this primary key attribute. So all the values which will be present in this column would be from this primary key attribute. Okay, so that is actually the foreign key. Foreign key refers to the primary key of another table. Okay, so now what is the meaning of referential integrity? Referential integrity says first thing is that all the values of this foreign key would be referring to the student ID, the primary key of this table. Okay, so the second question is, let's suppose you are deleting this row. Okay, you are deleting this row and now there is no student ID 1 present. But if you look at here, we have 1 which is actually not present in this table. So how you will be dealing with this 1 value in this case? I already told you that all the values in this column would be from this column. So if your 1 row is deleted, now 1 is referring to which value here? There is no reference of 1 now. Okay, so how we will be dealing with it? So the first way to deal with it is you can store null. Okay, what you can do? You can store here null. Okay, now there is no problem. Your primary key attribute shouldn't be null, but your foreign key attribute can be null. Your foreign key attribute can be null. Okay, the first situation is this. So this is the first way to deal with this problem. What is the second way? The second way is change the reference. Change the reference. Okay, so now what are the values we have in this table? 2 and 3. Okay, so you can write in the foreign key either 2 or any query, I have mentioned my email ID in the description box. You can contact me on that email ID. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you like my video, please like, share and subscribe my channel.